to do a book review, and that is going to be for The Crowns Game by Evelyn Skye. See, Crowns Game, crown, flower chain, flower crown. It's a flower crown. It's a crown. It's a circular item on your head with roses on it. But I'm very excited to talk about this book, and I thought I'd just like up it a bit by having this on my hair, because I think I wore this last in my... No, I've worn it in a different video, but the last one I can remember is my co-math book review. So like, I was like, I'm gonna go fancy and be all like sprinkle, but this book review is gonna be for The Crowns Game. So I just love wearing this thing. Like, I never get to wear it, so it's a lot of fun. But on with the book review. I really liked this book. Like, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads because it was so amazing. Like, at first I was really unsure on how I wanted to like judge this book, but it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. I've really liked like pretty much everything that was going on, and I'm just like, yes, yes, slay. What's so good is the next book is coming out on like the 15th of May, and that's next month, so I'll be able to know what's going on because I'm freaking out. I need to know what's going to be happening in The Crown's fate, because this book kind of killed me at the end because reasons. But yeah. I'll also tell you guys this book review is going to have spoilers in it, just because there's one major thing that I really want to talk about that really got me, and I was like, oh, it just killed me. So be warned that there will be spoilers in this video, so you know, be careful for how long you watch, you know, but let's get into it. I really like the idea of having this like magical like face-off battle, I'm better than you thing with the Enchanters, which was really exciting, and also that it was set in Russia. Literally the Russian parts of this book was so beautiful and like accurate. Like, I'm just saying accurate because like I've never been to Russia or know much about Russia, but I feel like going there I would be like, oh, there's that thing and there's that thing and there's this thing. Like, the detail was so good, and it felt so like familiar in the sense that it's our world. Like, Russia is part of Earth, so this is like where we are, and it's just got magic elements. So I'm kind of thinking this book is like a magical realism story in a sense, because it just feels like it, because it's like, that's how magical realism, right, is it's magic in our world. It's what a concept that I find difficult to understand, because I just say, oh, it's a magic, it's a book, whatever. But I don't like think too much about these type of things. But on with the actual idea of The Crowns Game, is I thought it was really interesting how there's like a power source in Russia that like one person every generation gets all the power, and sometimes there's 2 people, and because there's not enough power to really share, so to be able to protect a Tsar, they need to have one person with all the power, so that's why they bring in The Crowns Game. I saw some reviews with a lot of people saying, why would they kill 2 magical people? Like, why wouldn't you want more than one? But it kind of makes sense if you really want to focus the power on just one person and what they do, like thinking like if their person had all the power, they'd be able to do so much more, so they would be able to protect like the Tsar. But yeah, it is like random, but I did like the idea of this, and it wasn't really like a battle to the, like, it was a battle to the death, because they had to do, like, they had those scars on them so that they would heat up every time they had to make their move, and there was 5 moves. But like, I feel for me it wasn't really like they were trying to kill each other, like it was just trying to show who had the best magic. So they were doing magical displays, like making buildings look better, making the rivers coloured, doing little shows, like just showing what they can do with their power, even though like killing doesn't really come into it until like the end, and then it's not really like that big of a thing in the end really. But I just liked the idea of the game, and it was really an interesting concept to read, and I was just so excited. One thing I really liked about the Enchanters too is like Vika had really natural abilities, like she could make storms, she could move the elements, she could really just, nature was her thing. But with Nikola, he was more mechanical, so he could see through walls, he could make things move, so he's really good at rebuilding machines and making them work. So he was mechanical and she was natural. And what else with that too is like Vika grew up on an island, so she really didn't have all this like busyness of St. Petersburg like Nikolai did, so their powers were sort of built around their environments, and then they kind of had to see what they could do against each other. So it was really interesting having them have different abilities and having like their strengths in one type of thing and disadvantages in others, so they were like pretty evenly matched, which was good too. I really liked Vika. She was so like headstrong and like sassy in a sense, and like I feel like it's because she lived on an island. Like she's not really like in society, so she doesn't know how to act, like she doesn't know how to dance or how to eat at dinners, but she goes along with it, she powers through, and she actually like has a like really good knack at adapting to where she is, even though she doesn't know what's ever happening. So I really like that about her, and I really liked her powers too, like she could do the snowstorm, and I also liked that she had, you know, like the red hair, but she had like a black streak through, and I'm like, That's so cool. Can I do it? But I just thought she was so cool, and probably like, I don't know, I don't think I have a favourite out of them, but I did like her. Like, she was so much fun. And Nikola is such a like dorkish character. Like, he is meant to be like someone who's, I felt like he was meant to be like someone who's really strong and knows how to fight and mechanical, but he was just so adorably sweet. He's a precious cinnamon roll, I would say. But like, he had a really rough upbringing in his life, so he's come into this like St. Petersburg house, and his mentor's there helping him, but she doesn't do anything for him. Like, he has to make all his own clothes, he has to make all his own food, he has to do everything, and only if she has company over that he has to act like he's a member of the household and be dressed and everything. So he's had a pretty shit life of everyone sort of pushing him away and dissing him and not really even helping him at all. So that was sort of like a bit stupid to read, like from his perspective, just knowing that he has such a shit life. But it's nice to see that he's actually such a nice person. So if you only know horror in your life, you can come out of it being a nice person, but sometimes you do come out of it being an absolute jerkface and want to kill everyone. But Nikola was on the good side of that. I liked both of them, and I got attached to both of them so quickly, and I was like, no, I can't even, I don't want to pick, and you're gonna make me pick who I like more. And it's really difficult because there's literally no way one of them could have survived it too, because like, with the marks is like the Tsar gets to pick whoever wins, and then once there's a winner chosen, the person who has their mark still burning, they eventually combust and die. It's either they die early by the hand of the other, or the Tsar decides first and then they die, but eventually one of them has to die. And I was just like, there's no way out of that, really, is there? There needs to be a way out, but there sadly wasn't, and one of them did die, and I was like, screw you. Another character that I really liked was Pasha, and he was the Tsar's son, and Pasha's best friend is also Nikolai, so they do a lot of stuff together, but he doesn't actually know that Nikolai is an enchanter. So when they go to the island that Vic is on, he sees the power from her, and then they run off, but he gets, like, Pasha gets obsessed with it, and Nikolai gets obsessed a bit too, but like, they're like, Pasha really does get obsessed, and he wants to find her and meet her, and when he meets her, he discovers that he's in love with her, and Nikolai falls in love with Vika too, and Vika wants Nikolai. She doesn't really like Pasha at the moment because there's a few things he did, but I thought Pasha was really sweet and adorable, and I like that he doesn't really want to be heir, but it happens when his parents die. But seriously, I did really like him, and he was a lot of fun to like read about, and I did like that he dressed up to try and be like a commoner so he could go and hang out with Nikolai or do other things. So I did like him, but he kind of like made the story, like he made it good, but like there was complications that rose from his character. Another thing too is, so like with the fact that there's sort of this like love triangle going on, because like Nikolai and Pasha love Vika, but Vika sort of likes Nikolai, but we don't really know as of yet. Like, she sort of talks about it, but she has never admitted to actually loving him yet, so I'm hoping like next book it might happen. The romance wasn't as fleshed out as I would have liked, like in the sense that I wanted more. Like, the romance that I got was good, but it's just like I wanted more of like a romance kiss thing. Like, I wanted them fighting to save each other before the game ended, and it really only happened when they got to that final thing, and with Pasha being the Tsar, and he's finally found out about Nikolai being an enchanter, and he felt so betrayed. He's just like, one of you is going to die, whoever comes out is going to be the enchanter. And then Nikolai goes to stab himself and accidentally stabs Vika, and then it gives his energy to Vika, and then he dies, and I'm just like, ugh, I just didn't want you to die. Like, that was the big grand act of romance from him, is he took his life instead of hers, and then he didn't realize that it was going to kill him and everyone's dying, and I'm like, oh my god. And then Vika's so annoyed at Pasha because Pasha has ruined it, killed Nikolai practically, and now he's like, are we still going to be friends? I love you. And she's like, go away, I'm going to be there to protect you, but I don't want anything to really do with you. So he ruined himself. And then we find out at the end though, Nikolai is sort of alive. One of his like shows of his power, he made like these benches where you sit down and you like dream, and for some reason his like essence is in one of these benches, so we're gonna hopefully figure out a way to get him back, because I was so sad, man. I was like, nah, you cannot kill Nikolai because there's another book. Like, this is my logic. If there's more than one book, the character can't be dead. But like, seriously, I was freaking out the whole time with that. But like, I love Nikolai. Like, he's just adorable, and Vic is so headstrong. Like, they're so opposite, but I love them all. Now, another thing with this book is that there is so many point of views. Like, you got Nikolai and Vic, but you also got their mentors. You also got Pasha. You also got the Tsar. You also got Pasha's sister. One character that's introduced, and I think this is how you say her name, but it's Azana. She is introduced, and she's like been dead, and she's like been able to draw energy from like the maggots and the worms in the soil to become sort of a mummy. So she's like alive, but she's got flesh flesh coming off her everywhere, and what she wants is to find her baby. And the thing is with Vika, is her mother, she grew up knowing that her mother was a healer, like an enchanted healer mage. But she was thinking, like, so that's something that Vika's always been saying to her. So I'm like, oh shit, this must be Vika's mother. But then you find out that it's Nikolai's mother, and it's interesting too because he like tells people that his mother was a healer, but he made that up on the spot. So to have her as his mother, so she got introduced quite early, and I'm just like, shit's gonna go down with this woman. She's gonna do something, and like as the book goes on, she's killing people to try and get to her son, and she's like sort of healing a bit by bit by bit. But then find out that the way she had the baby was part of the Tsar's like whole force of people. Like they came to her village and she bedded one of the men there, and she got pregnant, and then everyone in the town disgraced her, and then she gave birth, and then the baby was dead, and then she gave her energy to the baby to protect and heal him, and then she died and everything. But she's always wanted to get back. And then there's a thing with the Tsar and his wife are on like this little holiday because the Tsar's wife is really sick. So he's out there in his tent, and then Zana is there, and she's like, hey, aren't you excited to see your son? And I was like, ugh. Like seriously, I was just like, what? That means Pasha and Nikola are like siblings. Like I was just like, I was just like, no, oh my god, and my dog is just like staring at me while I was doing it, and I'm just like, like I haven't had a book like have a book that blindsided me so quickly, and there was so much foreshadowing, like, oh, the kingdom's guards came and did everything. Like of course the Tsar was gonna be there because he would have been doing his training, and there was also parts with the Tsar too saying that in his early life he wasn't faithful to his wife, so like blah blah blah, like there was so much pointing to this, and I didn't even think. I was just like, nah. And then the Tsar died, so we never get to see that relationship between him and Nikolai. But it was so intense how she's just like, I'm gonna kill you because my son means everything to me and you've done nothing. And I'm just like, that means Nikolai could be like the Tsar because Pasha doesn't want to be. And then Nikolai and Vika could be married and have everything, because I'm totally team Nikolai and Vika. Nikolai and Vika. Nika. No, what, Vikolai or Nika? I don't know what their ship name would be, but it seriously just hit me. And I'm not okay. It really got me, that scene. But overall, I really did love this book. Like the elements were just so good, and like the different displays of magic and how interesting it was all, and how it intertwined, like, and all these extra point of views too. There's so much was going on, and there's still so much more of this story to be told, and I'm just really excited. Like it was just really good. But anyway guys, I hope you liked this book review, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!